Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday morning. It is very early. I got woken up this morning by Tuukka barking his full head off at someone jogging by. Oh, I should not be up this early on a Sunday. So I got a lot to do today. Got a lot of yard work. I don't even know whether I should be up right now. 6 a.m. on a Sunday. Everyone's still asleep. I got up to yell at the dog. It's a little bit later in the day. I went back to bed, got some more sleep. 6 a.m. was way too early. Stupid dog barking at someone jogging. Who the hell would jog at 6 a.m. on a Sunday? Well, anyway. Been doing the vlog for a while, and I've shown them a couple of times in the vlogs. After being woken up this way this morning, I figured this would be a perfect time for me to introduce you to my pups. We have two dogs. They're both labs. Well, one is definitely a lab, but they're both rescue dogs. We believe strongly in rescuing dogs. We do not believe in going to stores where they come from puppy mills or through breeders where genetic problems are passed on from generation to generation. We've gone through rescues the entire time we've had dogs. We had one dog before. My wife and I, was our first dog. His name was Tyson. I'll give you the story on Tyson, backstory on Tyson. Tyson, we rescued from the Providence Animal Rescue League in 1999. We went in, we were told that Tyson was a boxer. I can't say enough for the people at the Providence Animal Rescue League. Their website is right below here. Go check them out if you're in Rhode Island. It's a great place to rescue a dog. So we were told that Tyson and all his brothers and sisters were boxers. Boxer mix. So we went in and my wife and I, we weren't even married yet. We had just bought our house. We were 3 or 4 months away from getting married. I wanted to get a dog for my wife so that the dog would bond with her and protect her. So we went and we saw the litter of puppies. They were absolutely adorable. We sat down, played with them. My wife, there was a couple that she liked. And then I sat down on the floor, and this little brown pup, he comes climbing up, goes up my shoulder, and he bites my ear. I fell in love with him right there. Tyson was a great dog. We had Tyson for 14 years. He got bit by a tick, and he developed basically a disease that he was having seizures, and he ended up getting arthritis throughout his body, and he lived to be 14 before we had to put him down. That was the hardest thing I ever had to do as an adult. All I remember is having to take him, and my wife and I made the decision before we knew he couldn't go on. He was in a lot of pain, so we made the decision. But the worst thing that I had to do was when I got home, my brother came over to watch my girls so that we could take care of this. And I remember walking up the stairs and my oldest daughter's asking where Tyson was. That was the hardest thing I ever had to. This is where we're talking 5-6 years later, and it still upsets me just to think about it. Yeah, if you're a kid and you're watching this, being an adult sucks. Okay, there's so many things that suck about being an adult, and that was one of them. But Tyson passed, and he was in a better place, and is in a better place. He's no longer in pain. He was an awesome dog. Before we lived where we are, we used to live in the city of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And I remember one night, about 4 o'clock in the morning, Tyson barked, but he wasn't obnoxious with his barking. He barked, right? About 4 o'clock in the morning, he's going nuts, right? So I get up and I yell at him, tell him to knock it off, and you know, just knock it off. So I go back to bed about 15, 20 minutes. He's barking, growling. He's actually biting the doorknob on our front door. So I go and I look out the front door and I notice someone walking down the street. Not uncommon at 4 o'clock in the morning in the city of Pawtucket. So I yell at him, tell him to go back to bed, and we go back to sleep. Well, I get up the next morning, which was a Sunday morning, go out to get the Sunday paper, and I notice on the front lawn that there's a steak in the container. If you're from Northeast, anywhere, you know, the styrofoam with the cellophane wrap, laying on my front lawn. Now it's July. My wife had gone grocery shopping. I'm like, she dropped a steak when she was bringing the food in. So I went and picked it up and looked at it, and it said that the steak expired in March. I couldn't understand what the heck was going on. So we had my nephew staying over that night, so it was time for us to bring them back home. So we get in the car and we go to drive down the end of our street, and there's like 4 or 5 police cars at the end of our street, and it just didn't make sense. Turn the corner, there's another 4 or 5 police cars over there. We dropped my nephews off, and when we came out, we talked to our neighbor that lived behind us. Coming to find out, there was several, I guess, teenagers that were breaking into houses and stealing medicine. So the only thing that I can think happened was the first time when Tyson was barking, okay, he was barking his full head off, they were trying to get into the house. He wouldn't let him in, right? He would not let him in. So the second time, the only thing I could think is they went into someone's freezer, got a steak, and tried tempting him with the steak. And he still wouldn't let him in. That dog was incredible. I mean, when I figured out what happened, I went to Stop and Shop. I bought him, he had a steak. I gave him a steak. He earned the respect. And when we had our daughters, one of the things we found out with him eventually was that he wasn't a boxer. He was actually pit bull, or partial pit bull. But this dog was the most gentle dog around my family, and even my extended family when they came over. He was awesome. Very friendly, but you didn't mess with my wife or my kids. He would protect them with his life, and he proved it that night. So that dog had a lot of respect for me. And when he passed, it hurt a lot. I mean, there was a lot of things. I was probably about 40 when he passed, and it's incredible how when he finally went, how you felt like just a little, I was a baby. I mean, it's the only way I can describe it. I was a baby. It hit my wife harder because that was her baby. You know, she had him for 3 months before I moved in the house when we got married. So it was the 2 of them in the house. Like I said, we ended up having to put him down because he was sick, but he was an awesome dog. After he passed, we waited a little bit and we decided to get another dog. We decided it was time. So we went through rescue organizations, and we were looking, and we ended up finding a rescue organization called Little Paws for You. And this rescue organization usually doesn't deal in larger, medium to large dogs. They usually just deal in the small yip yip dogs. If you have a small yip yip dog, please don't take offense to this. I don't like them. I want a dog. Mid-sized to a Great Dane would be the dog that I would get if I could. We went through it, and she ended up having, she had 2 black labs. And there was one named Alicia, and I forget what the other one's name was. And the woman, we set up a meeting to meet the dogs. We met her, and the kids and I and my wife, we got into her van. They had both puppies. So I sat in the back, and the other puppy, Alicia's sister, came up and she played with me a little bit and then went with the girls. She kept on going back and forth, but she was very shy and timid. Alicia came up to me, climbed up onto my chest, and just nuzzled right underneath my chin and just stayed there. So before we went over to meet the puppies, a family meeting, and my take was we all had to agree on the dog or we didn't get it. It had to be 100% unanimous. And when I'm sitting there in the van and Alicia nudges up underneath my chin and you smell the puppy breath, I don't care what they say, this dog's coming home with us. So we decided to get Alicia. The woman from Little Paws, she was incredible. She was a little over the top with the dog, for what she did with the dogs, but she cared for the dog so much. I mean, you could really see it. They do a home inspection where they come in and make sure that, we're not going to hurt the dog. We're not, using her for a science experiment, you know, those sort of things. So she checked out our house. Our house was fine. So the day came for Alicia to come. And that was April 18th of 2012, I believe it was. So she brings Alicia over to go with the family, right? And the woman was like, I don't know whether Alicia's going to go to you. She really doesn't like men. So I went over into the middle of my living room, sat down on the floor, and she let Alicia go on the kitchen here. Alicia comes walking over, climbs into my lap. I was sitting, you know, crisscross on the floor. She climbs into my lap, curls up into a ball, puts her head down, and falls asleep on me. The woman was like, yep, she's home. She's home. And she's been home since. Alicia is supposedly, she is a mutt. She's mixed with something else. We can't figure out what it is, but she's predominantly black lab. She's a beautiful dog. Her eye, I love her eyes. She has absolutely beautiful eyes. She's my shadow. She's my absolute shadow. When we had gotten her, my bosses at work told me that if I wanted, I could bring her in with me every day to work. Only problem is we have a mouse problem in the building, and they got, you know, the green mouse poison, so I didn't want to chance it. So she stays home, but she is a good dog. So let me introduce you to Alicia. Alicia, come here, girl. Okay, this is Alicia. And Alicia is affection starved. Okay, she is a very smart girl. Okay, are you a very smart girl? She's sneaky as anything, like most women, but she's a really good dog. Like I said, she's my shadow. She goes everywhere with me. Sneaky. I don't know whether it's in the breed or what, but she's 5 years old now. Actually, January she'll be 6. Well, we say 5 years old, but she'll be 6 years with us come January, and I wouldn't change a thing. She's a really good dog. We had Alicia for about a year or so, and my wife and kids wanted to get another dog. I was happy with Alicia, really, to be honest, about getting another dog, but they kind of convinced me. They talked me into it. So we went and started looking, and we ended up going through Save a Lab. Was the name of the rescue organization. We went down, they gave us the address for this dog, and we went down, and red flags should have gone off right away. We pulled into, it was a nice suburban neighborhood, beautiful neighborhood, you know, not ritzy, not, you know, super poor, but nice, manicured lawns, fences, you know, really nice. We pull up to this house. The house is falling apart. It's got junked cars in the front yard. It's got half of a fishing boat in the front yard. So we go to meet Danny. And when we go in there, the woman comes out, and it's a Sunday morning about 10 o'clock. And my oldest daughter came back and turned to me and said that the woman's breath still smelled like alcohol. All right. So, again, I should have known. She brings out Danny, and he didn't want anything to do with any humans. He was hiding underneath chairs and just didn't want nothing. Well, my wife and my daughters fell in love with him. We said yes. So we take him home. He sat on my wife's lap on the front seat of the car all the way home. It was from Tiverton, so it was about an hour to an hour and 15-minute ride back home. Very shy dog. Coming to find out, Danny was infested with fleas. He had 3 different types of worms. He had an umbilical hernia and a double ear infection when we got him. After we did a little more research on the foster home where he was, it was a case of the woman basically had different reports, 7 to 9 dogs, and we think that she just threw Danny in with the other dogs and didn't play with them or anything. I mean, it was a total polar opposite of where we got Alicia from. It broke our hearts with him. I mean, you had to feel for him. Well, we got him home, and I mean, I do have to give Save a Lab credit. He ended up having to have surgery for the umbilical hernia. They reimbursed us for all the medical expenses that we had to do, and it was quite a bit. It was about, I think it was around $2,000. So they did reimburse us all of that. Well, we started noticing different things. First of all, we changed his name from Danny to Tuukka for Tuukka Rask. I'm a big Boston Bruins fan, and Tuukka Rask was the Boston Bruins goalie. So we named him Tuukka. He was supposed to be a lab. I don't think he is. I think he has pointer in him, and I believe a little bit of coonhound in him. I think that might be like that much lab in him. But we started noticing different things. He wasn't playful. He didn't jump around or anything like that. He wanted to get away from humans as much as possible. So what ended up happening was, after having him, once he recovered from all of his medical procedures and he was healthy, he warmed up to the family. I mean, today he's part of the family. He's lovable. He's very lovable. But we started noticing other problems. After having him for about a year, he started having seizures. And it was just, when anyone came to the house, I mean, even just like, at the time it was my mother and father, he would hide in a corner. He wouldn't come out of that corner. And he'd be shaking like violently. He was so scared. So at first I thought he was abused, thought maybe back to the thing where he was just thrown in with the dogs. But after I did more research, his symptoms coincided with what I found out was he's a product of a puppy mill. Very antisocial behavior, seizures, just very scared of everything. And you feel for him. You feel for the poor little guy. I don't know how anyone could treat an animal like that. That's just... you take him, we try to take him for walks, and you can't, he'll try to get out. We had to put a harness on him with a leash, and if he sees another animal, or he just freaks out and he'll run back home. He's taken off once, okay, where he wanted to explore, but usually if he takes off, he'll run back home. Like I said, he is lovable. He's a lovable dog for the immediate family. When people are over, we have to put him in his crate, and we have to put a blanket over so he can't see the people. He gets that scared. He'll literally wet the floor when people come over. So, I mean, we've had him now for 2 years, and I love the dog. I do love the dog. He is very lovable. He's not mean in any way, shape, or form. He's never shown his teeth. Like I said, he is a good dog. I don't know how to describe it. He's very smart. He listens pretty well, especially to me. He does listen to me. And again, he's my shadow. He's by my side. Matter of fact, he's laying right on my side right now. But you feel for him. Just when you do, my warning to anyone is, if you do go through a rescue organization, make sure that you do your research. Okay, research the dog. Coming to find out, he was actually adopted by 2 other families, and they brought him back. And again, with my wife, when she found that out, there is no way he was going back. You know, she felt like he was, you know, the tossed aside, thrown away dog. And my wife has a bleeding heart, and he's part of the family now. There's nothing I could do about it. Drives me nuts with my wife, but it's one of the things I love about her too. She has a heart of gold. So let me introduce you to Tuukka. Tuuk, you alive down there? Huh? Are you alive down there? Yeah, you got your bone there, huh? Huh? You got your bone? He knows I have the camera. He hates the camera. Alicia's usually that way too. Are you a good boy? Huh? Are you a good boy, Tuuk? Yeah. I mean, how could you not love that face? Like I said, the poor thing has been through so much. I mean, even before he got to us, he'd been through so much. You gotta love him. Yeah. You gonna look at the camera? You gonna say hi to oh, sorry, bud. You gonna say hi to everyone? Huh? You gonna say hi? You don't like that camera, do you? Huh? Yeah, you good boy. And Alicia's over there jealous because I'm petting him and I'm not petting her. See, look at her turn away when I put the camera on her. It is incredible how much these dogs hate this camera. Alright, so that's my dogs. I figured I'd introduce them. I mention them in a lot of my vlogs. They are really good dogs. They're housebroken. Little accidents with Tuukka every now and then, and that's more to his condition than not being housebroken. But Alicia, the problem with her is, like I said, she's sneaky, and if we leave the cover off the trash, she will get into the trash. So that's something we have to constantly be aware of. But anyway, thanks for watching the video. I do appreciate it. This is my dogs. I just wanted to introduce them to you. If you're new to this vlog, thank you. Thanks, I appreciate it, you coming. I try to put up a vlog a day. Sometimes I'm a couple of days off if I get busy with something, you know, life happens. If you are new to the vlog, you can click down here if you like it. If you didn't like it, click down here, that's all the same. Leave me a comment below, let me know about your dogs. What type of dogs do you have? What are their personality quirks? How did you come about getting your dog? Those sort of things. If you like this video and you want to see more and get noticed on more, click right here. You can subscribe to my video. You can click right here and see my last video that I put up. Or click right here and see video from a year or maybe 2 years ago. I'm almost coming up on 3 years. I'm actually coming upon my 1000th vlog. So I gotta give me some ideas on what to do for that. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back with you tomorrow. I gotta do some yard work tomorrow, so we'll get on that.